Okay, welcome back. Today we're still dealing with our integers. In particular though, our lesson intent is we're going to be dealing with multiplication and division. So in order to get started, we have to understand a few rules first when we're multiplying. So if we have two positive numbers, a positive number here, positive number here, when we times them together or multiply, we are going to get a positive number. Similarly, if we have a positive number here multiplied, so a multiplication, by a negative number, we will always get a negative number. If we have a negative multiplied by a negative, we'll always get a positive. And we'll explain that a little bit further. Now, just like this one here, if we have a negative multiplied by a positive, we will also get a negative. So these ones are interchangeable. They don't matter too much. They bring out the same response. So let's look at our two positives first. Again, this is revision for you. So if we have a positive 3 times positive 3, we get positive 9. Now let's look at it this way. Let's say it's a negative 3 times by 3. That actually works out to be negative 9. So we're starting in our negative space on our number line. So less than 0, negative 3. And we're timesing that negative 3 by the basis of a 3. That's why we're ending up with a negative 9. Same if I did positive 3 times negative 3, we get negative 9. If we have a negative 3 times a negative 3, we will end up with a 9. So there's our differences. So keep that in mind when we're going to do a bit of practice later on. Okay, so for now we've done a bit of a refresher course on our multiplication. We're going to have practice soon. Now we're going to deal with our division. Now similarly before, there are rules or processes when we're dividing numbers. Start off with though, if you ever divide anything by 0, the answer will always be 0. So if I had 1,000 divided by 0, the answer will always be 0. Just like before, we have a positive number, we're dividing it by another positive number, the answer will be positive. If it's positive divided by a negative, it's a negative. If it's a negative divided by a positive, it's a negative. And just like before, if it's a negative divided by a negative, we get, take that out there, we get a positive. Okay, so let's run through a few little examples. So, for example, up here we have a positive divided by a positive. So if we had 10 divided by 2, we would get 5. Here, if we had a positive, let's say we had 20 divided by negative 2, we will get negative 10. Same with this one, let's say we had a negative 18 divided by negative 2, we will get negative 9. Here we have two negatives dividing each other, it'll make a positive. So if we have negative 10 divided by negative 5, we will get 2. Have a look at your calculator, calculate these as I've told you, so you can have practice and see exactly what I mean. Okay, so now we're going to have a bit of a practice. So we're going to mix these up. So with our multiplication, actually, I'll get another colour. So let's say we have negative 6 times 2. Tell me what that answer is. Then I'd like you to do a similar one, negative 6 divided by 2. Notice we have negative numbers here, positive numbers here. So think about the kind of answer. Will it be a positive or a negative? Okay, let's have a look at a couple others. So we have 5 divided by negative 1, 10 divided by 3, oh actually, no, we want whole numbers because we're dealing with whole numbers here, divided by 2, let's make it -2. We have 20 multiplied by -100. 200 divided by -4. So put those in your calculator if you need to. Some of you, that's fine too, it's even great. If you can work it out mentally, even better. All right, get those answers in and let's have a discussion in class.